Andrew Gosden was just 15 years old when he stepped out of his house on a Friday morning, September 14th, 2007. He left his home in Doncaster, England. He never came back. It's a story that has haunted a lot of people for a long time. It's a story about a quiet boy, a one-way train ticket, and a mystery that still doesn't have an answer. The big question, the one that keeps everyone guessing, is why he bought that ticket to London and why it was only one way. Andrew was a normal kid, by all accounts. He was bright, really bright. He was a good student. He loved his family. He lived with his mom, Ghislaine, his dad, Kevin, and his younger sister, Charlotte. Their home life was stable. It was a loving home. Andrew wasn't known for being rebellious. He wasn't a troublemaker. He was more on the quiet side. He liked video games. He liked music, especially rock music, like Linkin Park and Evanescence. He was good at school, excelling in things like maths and English. He had a few close friends, but he wasn't someone who chased big social groups. He was just Andrew. His parents remember him as an intelligent, thoughtful boy. He didn't have a history of running away. There were no big arguments at home. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary in the days or weeks leading up to that September morning. He wasn't withdrawn. He wasn't depressed. He wasn't stressed about exams. He was just a regular teenager living a regular life. This is why his disappearance is so confusing. It doesn't fit with who he was. The morning of September 14th, 2007 started like any other school day, or at least it seemed to. Kevin and Ghislaine left for work. Andrew was supposed to get ready for school. He had a bus pass. He usually took the bus to his school, the North Doncaster Technology College. But that day, he didn't. He missed the bus. He didn't even try to catch it. Instead, he went back inside the house. This is where the story takes a turn, a subtle but critical one. What did he do when he went back inside? He changed his clothes. He put on a black t-shirt from the band Slipknot, dark jeans, and some trainers. He didn't take much with him, just a small black rucksack. In it, he had his PlayStation Portable, some games, and his wallet. He left his school uniform behind. He also left his glasses, which he needed to see properly. He didn't take his house keys. This suggests he wasn't planning on coming back quickly, or maybe not at all. It was a deliberate choice, an action taken after some thought, not a spur-of-the-moment thing like forgetting something. Then, Andrew did something else. He went to a local cash machine. He withdrew £200 from his savings account. This was his own money, saved up from birthdays and Christmases. It was a good amount for a 15-year-old, especially for a single-day trip. But it wasn't a fortune. It wouldn't last him long if he was planning to stay away for a while. From the cash machine, Andrew walked to the Doncaster train station. It was still morning. He bought a single, one-way ticket to London King's Cross. The cost was £31.50. He had more than enough money for a return ticket, which would have been cheaper than buying 2 single tickets. But he chose a one-way. This choice, more than anything else, is what baffled his family and the police. Why a one-way ticket? What did it mean? CCTV footage from the train station shows Andrew at the ticket counter. He looks calm. He doesn't look stressed or hurried. He's just a boy buying a train ticket. He gets on the train. The train arrives at London King's Cross at 11:20 a.m. He is seen on CCTV leaving the station. This is the last confirmed sighting of Andrew Gosden. He just walked out into the vastness of London and vanished. So why London? And why the one-way ticket? These are the two biggest questions that have haunted his family and the police for years. Let's think about London first. It's a huge city. It's anonymous. You can get lost there easily. For a boy from a relatively small town like Doncaster, London would feel like a whole different world. It's a place where you can reinvent yourself, or simply disappear without a trace. One idea is that Andrew went to London to meet someone, maybe someone he knew online, but his family said he wasn't big into online chat rooms or making friends that way. He was more reserved. There was no evidence on his computer or phone to suggest he had made plans to meet anyone specific. If he did, it was a very well-kept secret, but it's still a possibility. Someone could have lured him, groomed him online without his family ever knowing. This is a terrifying thought for any parent. Another theory is that he went for a specific event. London is always buzzing with things: music concerts, anime conventions, game launches. Andrew loved music and video games. Maybe a band he liked was playing, or there was a special event he wanted to attend. But he didn't buy a return ticket. Most events don't last forever, and if he planned to come home, why wouldn't he buy a return? It makes the event theory a bit weak unless he planned to stay longer, or perhaps stay with someone after the event. But again, no evidence of such plans. Then there's the idea that he wanted to run away and start a new life. London offers that anonymity. He could blend in. He was a bright kid, maybe he felt stifled or wanted more out of life. But his family said he seemed happy, he wasn't rebellious, he didn't talk about wanting to leave home. There were no signs of pressure or bullying at school that his parents were aware of. It feels out of character for the Andrew they knew. Running away usually has a trigger, an argument, bad grades, a problem with friends. Andrew had none of these obvious issues. The one-way ticket is the most puzzling part. It speaks volumes, but we don't know what it's saying. Did it mean, I'm never coming back? Was it a statement, or was it simply practical? Perhaps he genuinely didn't know when he would return, so a one-way ticket made sense in his mind. Maybe he planned to stay with someone and they would buy his return ticket. Or maybe he thought he could earn money and buy one later, but with only £200, that plan doesn't sound very solid for a long stay in London. Some people initially thought suicide, especially with the one-way ticket, but this was quickly dismissed by his family and police. Andrew left no note. He didn't show any signs of depression or suicidal thought. He packed his PSP and games, suggesting he intended to use them to keep living. You don't usually pack video games if you're planning to end your life. He seemed to be going to something, not away from everything in a final way. Could he have been coerced or manipulated? Was someone older, someone dangerous, involved? The idea that a quiet, intelligent boy could be lured away by someone is terrifying. Without a digital footprint of planning, it's hard to say. But London, with its millions of people, offers opportunities for predators. This is a possibility that his family has had to consider, and it's a very difficult one. What if it was a spontaneous, impulsive decision? Andrew was 15. Teenagers sometimes do things on a whim, things they don't fully think through. But buying a ticket, withdrawing money, changing clothes, these were all deliberate steps. It wasn't a sudden dash out the door. It was planned, even if the plan itself was vague. And Andrew wasn't known for being impulsive, he was more considered. Perhaps he had a specific destination in mind in London. Not just the city, but a particular place. A museum, a specific shop for games or music, and a friend's house? But he didn't seem to have friends in London, and if it was just for a visit, why the one-way ticket? The family realized Andrew was missing when his dad, Kevin, went to pick him up from school that afternoon. Andrew wasn't there, they called friends, checked common spots. No Andrew. The initial concern quickly turned to panic. They called the police. Like many missing person cases, especially with teenagers, the police response can sometimes be slow. Teenagers run away often. They often come back. But Andrew wasn't typical. The discovery of the train ticket and the CCTV footage changed everything. This wasn't a typical runaway. This was a boy who had deliberately chosen to go to London. The family, especially his parents Kevin and Ghislaine, began a desperate, relentless search. They put up posters, they spoke to the media, they went on TV, they hoped someone somewhere would have seen him. The challenges were immense. London is huge, millions of people, thousands of CCTV cameras, but tracking one person through that maze is incredibly difficult. Initial police resources might not have been what was needed for such a case. The early hours and days are crucial in missing person cases, and Andrew had a head start. He was swallowed by the city. Over the years, the Gosden family has never given up. Kevin and Ghislaine have shown incredible strength and dignity. They have campaigned tirelessly. They have kept Andrew's story in the public eye. They have released age progression images, showing what Andrew might look like now as an adult. They have followed up on countless possible sightings, each one a flicker of hope, but each one eventually leading to nothing. There was a sighting at a Pizza Hut in London shortly after he vanished. Someone thought they saw him, but it was never confirmed. There was another report of a sighting near a cash machine. Again, nothing solid. These reports, while well-meaning, often lead to dead ends and just prolong the agony for the family. In a city like London, a quiet boy could easily pass unnoticed or be mistaken for someone else. The why one way question keeps coming back. It's the core of the mystery. It suggests a profound decision. Was it a statement of independence? I am leaving and I am not planning on returning home under the same circumstances. Did he just not have enough money for a return? Unlikely given he had £200. A return would have been cheaper and he definitely had enough. Did he intend to stay with someone and they would sort out his return? Possible, but again, no evidence of this person. Or maybe, just maybe, he truly didn't know when he would return, so he just bought a one-way and figured he'd buy another single when he was ready to come back. This implies a lack of proper planning, which seems out of character for the otherwise deliberate steps he took. The impact on his family has been devastating, enduring. They live with the uncertainty every single day. The not knowing is the worst part. Every birthday, every Christmas, every family event is marked by Andrew's absence. They have learned to live with a huge void in their lives, but their hope has never wavered. They believe Andrew is still out there. They believe someone knows something. Andrew's case highlights the vulnerability of young people. even a smart, stable kid can make a decision that leads to disappearance. It also shows the anonymity of big cities, how easy it is to vanish into the crowds. And it reminds us of the long-term nature of missing person cases, how families can spend decades searching, waiting, hoping for an answer. The internet's role, while not central to Andrew's known movements, is often discussed in similar cases. In 2007, social media wasn't as pervasive as it is now, but online interactions were still happening. Could a conversation, a game, a forum have given him an idea or put him in touch with someone? It's always a possibility investigators consider, but without evidence, it remains speculation. Andrew Gosden was a quiet boy with a bright future. He loved his family, his games, his music. One morning, he made a series of deliberate choices, missing the bus, changing clothes, withdrawing money, and buying that one-way ticket. He went to London, and then he was gone. The mystery of why he bought that one-way ticket to London remains. Was it a simple act or a deep symbolic gesture? Was it part of a grand plan or a desperate, ill-conceived escape? No one knows for sure. His family still waits. They hope for a call, a knock on the door, any sign that Andrew is alive. The questions linger, hanging in the air like a fog that never lifts. A quiet boy, a simple ticket, an unimaginable void. That's the story of Andrew Gosden, and it's still unfinished.